Hi, I'm Jason Arbin, and I want to give you a quick walkthrough of the new OpenTest.AI website. The goal is to help facilitate people sharing artifacts because, finally now that testing is using AI, we can share prompts, right? Prompts can be reused across projects, for example. So how do we help the community do better testing with AI, and how do we, through the community, help each other test AI systems? So both directions. So let's go. If you go to OpenTest.AI, just do a quick high-level walkthrough. If you go to OpenTest.ai, there's a little secret menu here. And if you click it, you can go to the alpha site. It's very early. The idea is just to get initial, quick feedback on the site and high-level features. It's not really ready for actual testing. Like there's plenty of bugs that would just probably be dupes, but any feedback and thoughts would be helpful and useful. So let's get started. So there's a chatbot here. This chatbot is focused on specifically to help testers. So if you ask it a question, what is RST, for example? It'll say, hey, RST has several meanings depending on the context. But you notice here, it says in the realm of testing, especially for software and documentation, it most commonly refers to restructured text, RST. So it's a markup language. Now, it's a horrible prompt because we didn't give it any context, but it tried. But at least it knows that you're asking questions about software testing. So if you go to ChatGPT or Anthropic or something, Claude, you'll get very generic answers, right? And it is ready to deal with questions about history, news, math, whatever. You'll also notice that it gives a confidence score here. So the confidence score here, 9 out of 10, is the confidence that the AI has in the answer. But a lot of testers don't know to ask for the confidence level, and a lot of testers really worry about the accuracy of responses. So by default, this chatbot gives you the confidence interval back. It also will tell you what assumptions it made, which is probably interesting for a lot of testers. And you can use this to reverse engineer how to improve your prompt. But it'll tell you, what it assumes about you and the context because you didn't provide it. Also, there's follow-up questions, so you can just click and get more information on like the structure, documentation, etc. Kind of in a broader thing, and then you could dig deeper, which is like, what are the advantages? Like just even dig deep, deep, deep. So you can just click dig deep over and over and over again, and you can get all the way down. It's turtles all the way down. Now, what's interesting about this is when you ask these questions, the system prompt, so this is passed along with your prompt to the AI, tells the user that, this is your OpenTest.AI, the official assistant for the OpenAI or OpenTest.AI initiative. And it tells you how to behave, but always like think about things like always include a confidence score with every response, for example, right? So this makes it kind of tunes it for software testing in general. And you can edit this to your heart's content, save it, share it, whatever. This is a good point to note that by design, some things might be a little awkward, but it's so that everything can be open. So this all runs in a single HTML page, very large HTML document. But that means you don't even need the code to run it. You can just download, save as HTML, and you can run it locally. So it's designed to run offline. Doesn't need a backend, doesn't need proprietary infrastructure anywhere. You can run it local, offline, behind a firewall, air-gapped, which is the ideal kind of testing situation. But as part of that, you do need to add. We'll get right here quick and look at API keys. So let's see. Let's go here and go. So you can see the API configuration down here at the bottom. Actually, we'll just close this. This is a quick walkthrough. Sorry, I'm only going to do it once through. I don't want to do a script or anything. But you can pick, I'm using Google Gemini right now. And so you can enter the API key, pick a model, save it, and double save if you want. So the good news here is that means you can use your own AI model, which means it can be also private, secure, run inside your protected, behind your firewall. But also, a lot of testers, maybe half, really more like 70+%, I think, don't have API keys. So if you'd like, just enter your email address in here, and then you can ask, and then if you click generate free quota code, it will actually take you to it'll take you to a form that you can fill in, and then our sponsors will look at trying to help give you free API access, like limited quotas of some sort, so you can play around and use this. But if you don't have your own API key, or can't get one, or can't figure it out, or don't want to have one. So anyway, there's API keys. So you have to enter API keys for any of this stuff to work. And if not, it'll tell you, hey, you need to add API keys. But let's take a quick here. So here's a list of prompts. So these are some built-in early, initial prompts. But these are prompts that anybody can use, and they're shareable, public property, public community, and just open prompts. So for network testing, here's one. Let's see, there's security audit, screenshot analysis, visual regression testing. So these might be useful prompts to you, and if so, you can go, hey, thumbs up, and or even add a comment, or you can say bad prompt, thumbs down. Star means, hey, this is great, or just trash it, like this is just horrible. It's not even just not good, it's detrimental or something. But the idea is over the time that these prompts will get rated by the community, and so we'll know which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones are useful. And then people can also add a prompt in here. So you can go in, add a title, the prompt text, etc. And then if you add a prompt, it'll show up in this list locally. And then you can export it. It's the way to make sure things are non-proprietary and open and everything as much as possible. You can edit your own prompts locally, but then there's an export button, and I'll show you that. Well, we'll just go straight to that real quick, super quick. So if you go in here, you can look and it'll say the ratings and stats here, right? So you can go and say export my ratings, and we'll see export other types of artifacts here, and that'll just create a download file. So that'll drop into your downloads folder. Just upload that. Then you just upload ratings and pick that file, and then what that does, it'll open a form where you can upload that ratings file, JSON file that was created, and then once a week or so, the community moderators and stuff folks will run a script that will import all those things. They'll moderate it and make sure it's not offensive and basically useful. And then it'll show up in the next build on OpenTest.AI website. Those new prompts will be there for the community to rate, again, in kind of this virtuous loop. And soon we'll be adding, you'll have counts of all the ratings and stuff in there, and then we'll have a leaderboard, like who's done the most ratings, who's done the most, which prompt and which user have uploaded the best ratings of that week, for example, most rated or the best rated or whatever. So that'll be fun. And we're looking to do badging, to be clear, too. So you can put on your LinkedIn profile or something to show off that, hey, I'm part of this community and I've been doing rating things, or doing a lot of rating to help the community, or I've contributed a bunch of prompts that people are using and rating highly. So kind of get people a chance to show off. Super important. You can go dark mode, light mode here, and you can also pick, the color if you want to change the accent color for fun. We'll change it here to pink for fun. It's super important. But anyway, that's the prompts, and how do we kind of can do ratings and upload them, share them, and then community stats. Another quick thing is there's a prompt review tool that should be useful to folks. So if we type that same prompt in, what is RST? It's not a very great prompt, but a big concern for testers is they want to minimize hallucinations from the AI. And the funny thing is, most of them, when I work with folks, testers, a lot of times the hallucinations, when they do occur, it's because of the prompt, right? The prompt's kind of inducing a lot of hallucination. So we can just go ahead and with this tool, it will actually help us figure out how to rephrase and make this prompt better to eliminate or minimize hallucinations. So right here, it's given us a better prompt. So we have to type all that stuff. But again, it makes sure it's, hey, this is in the context of, right here, this is the context of software development and testing. So it's a slightly better prompt, and then it tells you why. So you can learn, like, what was I missing in my prompt so I can make them better in the future? And in recommendations, right? Specify the domain, provide clarifying keywords, offering potential interpretations, and requesting a specific type of information. So it's a quick way to minimize hallucinations, and people can learn how to do that. There's also an improve button. What that does is it doesn't just try to minimize hallucinations, it just improves the prompt altogether overall. And very similar, it tells you what gives you a better improved prompt. It also tells you, like, hey, like, you're lacking context, there's ambiguity, there's no goal. Sounds like a life review of maybe it's analyzing me and my life. Anyway, and then we come in here, and then there's improvements that it made to improve their prompts. So you can learn over time how to make better prompts, but you can also just copy paste and use that as an improved prompt. So that's kind of cool. And then in here, just like we did with the system prompt, this is the prompt that helps with hallucinations, and this is the prompt that helps with improving prompts. It's kind of a meta thing. But you can edit those, save them locally, customize them, and share them. So let's look at prompt tips. So this is just a kind of content. These are ones that I wrote a post just a little while ago, to help testers with their prompting. So kind of very conceptual kind of documentation of how to do prompting, better prompting. But again, people can also add their own suggestions on how to do, prompting tips, etc., and put them in here. And then, here's how you can actually add new testing prompts. That probably should be integrated with the prompt tips. It hasn't been done yet. Discussion. This links to a Discord for nerds, so we can talk about the site or talk about things in general. Community. This is the way to sign up. So it's pretty simple, but you can specify how you want to engage. Like, do you just want to use it? Do you want to be, it's information about the community, so we can tune it to the people using it. Like, hey, I don't use AI at all, or I use APIs, or I just use chatbots. We do ask for your name and email. The main reason is to avoid people spamming the sites, because testers love to write a while one loop in Selenium and spam things. And so we can get back to you, like on moderation, et cetera, and maybe some community events in the future. We also, if you want, so we'll also be sending out kind of a newsletter, maybe at a weekly, maybe bi-weekly cadence. And that'll include just news of the world related to AI and software quality and testing. Particularly news I think the community doesn't get where around, new papers from OpenAI or Anthropic that relate to the quality of models, and trying to be less commercial generally, but just kind of keep you informed of a little newsletter. So that's it. And then ask, if you want to help test the website, let us know. And you get the preview versions and access to those. Let's go back to OpenTest. So what else we got here? Yep. And there's sponsors. I won't highlight that right now. Then there's testing AI. So we've been focused on how to use AI to test things, right? This is how do you test AI. So not a lot of people in the community are familiar with this. But one important thing, there are evals. So what evals are basically very simple test suites for AI models. So how do you test OpenAI? How do you test Anthropic? And there's a lot of, eval suites. For example, if you looked at huggingface.com, or I think it's .com, go to Hugging Face, where you read papers, you'll see things like, just different test suites for different types of, say math or English or medicine or engineering or history, or how factual is the AI. So there's a bunch of different eval suites and that measure, basically there's just question and answers. They're very simple actually. Question, get the answer, and then measure how good the answer was. It's very, very unsophisticated testing suites in a way. But a lot of those are made to test kind of world knowledge and reasoning. We don't have a lot that are specific to the software testing profession, for example. Or if you fine tune a model that's going to be really good in a very narrow area, you'll want to create an evaluation suite that just focuses on that area and also looks for regressions, but like in the general reasoning capabilities of the model. But if you hyper tune it on very proprietary data or fine tune it, you want to have question answers to check how well the AI answers questions in that new domain. So, but there's not really a good way to facilitate sharing those suites, and some of them could be generally useful. Like for example, there's like tools to run these things, but it's complicated. You have to download something, you have to, set it up, run it, point it to your eval suite, and all this kind of stuff. So the idea is to make it just super easy to run these things. So here's a quick one by default that's in the site today, called Software Testing Fundamentals, and we can look at it. They're just a bunch of question and answers, right? And they're not crazily interesting right now, but they're, like there's a race condition testing. Like how would you design a test strategy to detect race conditions in distributed microservices architecture, blah, 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 blah. So that's a hard question. That's not something you usually find in the eval suites that the big models use. It's very testing kind of domain specific, but we can come in here and we can run it. Let's see if it works. But this is kind of an open tool where an open eval suite that's made to be really easily, very accessible. You don't have to set anything up. You just run it on a web page, and we'll see what the scores are. Okay, so it ran through all of those questions that we had in the eval suite, and you can see the full AI response on, testing race conditions, and there's a bunch of stuff in here, right? Recommendations. So, and then we use AI to evaluate how accurate it was, which is interesting as a meta perspective. But you can see AI got 100 out of 100 on all these different tests in the eval. So it got 100 out of 100 overall. But we've ran, from a single web page without setting anything up, we've been able to run an eval, which is kind of cool. And you can also create new suites, new eval suites, submit those to the community. You can import them and run them. And when you get those results, you can export the results of that run and upload them to also share the evals with other people. Now you're wondering, well, what did I test? Remember, we had the API keys. We were testing that. So when that was running against the Gemini API. So the Google Gemini LLM API. So if we go in and change our API keys and set OpenAI to the default, we'll be testing OpenAI. So it's kind of cool. Like testers can actually test without any code. I think those models, and soon local models and fine-tuned models. So that's the eval section. I think that's about it for now. Let's hit the about real quick. So if you want to join real quick, you can click here. It opens a form to join. There's not much to do. We already saw that actually. And here's a charter. So I will mention, so these three folks including myself, are the founding board members. And I'll say real quick, I'm an AI nerd, obviously. Phil's really at the cutting edge, and I'm working with him on, how do we blend humans and machines? Like how do humans best utilize AI, and how do they collaborate? We're working together on that. And then also Jonathan Wright, he's very, he's very literate in all aspects of AI, and he's a cool, fun person to listen to too. But he's very focused on AI and the realities of AI, the EU regulations, AI safety, let alone just the functionality of these things. And he has, NVIDIA chips in his office that he runs. So he's super AI test nerd. But what I'm trying to do is, and here it's actually this is a bug, but we can zoom in. But if you want to ask the board members kind of questions, you can ask here, as long as they're kind of related to the site, I guess. But the key thing here is we want to, and here's the whole charter actually. So you can see the whole charter draft. But the idea is to have a community, share this stuff, create more open content for people to use and share. So we can speed up the community's adoption of AI in general. And, be nice to people. But we also don't want, I guess the key thing in here that was interesting is we don't want this isn't like a marketing thing. We don't want like a bunch of, we want to keep it like real, like useful artifacts and real community kind of feedback as much as possible. So there we go. That's OpenTest.AI. I hope it's interesting. It should be enough of a kernel to be trying to be useful. And no matter whether you're testing with AI or testing AI or both, and let us, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think about this. And I hope you join and contribute to the community. This could be cool. We'll see. It could also be a total flop. I don't know. Well, let's see. We've already got like hundreds of signups already. So that's a good sign in this last few days with only one post. So it seems to be there's quite a bit of demand out there. But thanks for listening, and let's hope we can help accelerate the adoption of AI in the testing community so that we can keep up with the AI and with the industry as it's transforming in real time. Thanks